Hello and welcome to Virtual Vines. Dan Mackey here from The Loaded Great, TC Fraizer from Tryon Distributing, and we're going to talk all about Tommasi tonight. Yes. I'm so excited.
Yes, alla Italiano.
Italiano.
Yes. I think you have to sit backwards, drink back. I mean, I think, again, we're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out. We're getting there.
Yeah. Absolutely. But, Tommasi is obviously, you really can't talk about Italy. You can't really have a wine list, a wine shop, and have any respectable wine set without having a couple bottles from Tommasi. I mean, these guys, I know I'm biased because I sell Tommasi. They've been a great go-to for me for price point, but also for pedigree. And we're going to try a wine that, quite frankly, it's like if you're going to have a wine from this particular style, you definitely got to have Tommasi.
We have a lot of great wines in store for you tonight. We also have Christophe with us from Vintus, the importer. So we're gonna have a little bit of slideshow, movie, all kinds of stuff. The show is going more high tech. We're not only live on Facebook Live right now, we are also live on YouTube too.
Yeah.
So first time going live on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, Tommasi, they can look us up on YouTube. The show is going places. So thank you so much for tuning in to Virtual Vines. I see the people are tuning in right now. Do want to go over a quick little couple things as people are tuning in. We're running our Hats Off to You campaign, and if you
lime sherbet, I like that.
Lime sherbet ones. So TC, we got some more colors in.
Oh, wow.
So if you hadn't seen the other ones I've been wearing, which is the gray with either the white back or the black back. So we now have the nice green with a kind of cream back. We also have the purple with white. Look at that cool logo on there as well. And then also a nice gray, light gray and white combo. All you have to do, 24 bottles from now until the end of November, get you a hat. So there you go. So awesome. Hats off to you. So thank you so much for supporting Loaded Grape and Virtual Vines. And we get you a hat.
Yeah.
Get you a hat. I mean, really easy. 24 bottles. You're going to drink it anyway.
Hey, might as well.
And it really turned out to be like when we started this campaign at the beginning of the month, it's 2 hats a week. Well, 2 bottles a week.
Well, and after tonight, I think most people are probably going to go away with a hat tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight, after these prices.
These prices and these wines, we are definitely going to see some hats being worn around town after this week, going into next week. I guarantee it. So now, without any further ado, TC, we got to get.
Speaking of hats off to Christophe for joining us.
Yes.
Let's here waiting.
Let's bring Christophe into the show, and Christophe!
Yes, there we go. Yes, sir.
On the show. Welcome to Virtual Vines again, sir. You were with us not too long ago when we did
Desero
with Stephanie all the way from London. So you're welcome back.
Christophe makes it happen.
You're starting to become a regular.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, like I said, Christophe, he's always great to reach out. Again, hats off to this guy. And I think, if he does one more tasting, we'll have to send him a Loaded Grape hat.
I guess you're going to have to start wearing a Loaded Grape hat on the show if he's allowed to do that. That would be.
I got plenty of wine, gentlemen.
Great. Well, we plan on using you some more. Let's get started. We're talking some amazing heritage here with Tommasi tonight. Where do you want to? You're going to drive the ship, and we're just going to kind of fill in where we have to. Okay?
Yes. So I would like to kind of get you started with a little of the Tommasi Italian flavor by showing you a short video.
Okay.
And so I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Okay. We'll get this up here, folks. We practiced this before, so it should work. So we should be all set there. The music's working.
You got me?
There we go.
All right.
Wow.
I mean, high production quality value right there, man. I mean,
Man.
well, eventually, virtual vines. We'll get to that. We'll get to that quality.
We're gonna get there.
We'll have drones and whatnot,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
that's awesome.
Didn't you get a little goosebumps?
Yeah, it makes me want to be in
awesome.
Italy. I feel like now I've been transported to Italy as we start to drink these wines. Not only being transported, but also being able to kind of see the production that goes into making these wines.
Yeah, the production and one of the wines we're gonna have tonight, that the Bulgio Tufo, that little vineyard and seeing that house right there. And I mean, that's just absolutely beautiful. So
I agree.
We've already opened up some Prosecco here. I figure that's the most appropriate way to start. And I think, I don't know how long Tommasi's been selling this or how long we've carried it.
So,
it's a newish item to us. Is it a newer item to Tommasi, I think?
So just give you a little background, because the video was a very nice introduction to the 6 regions that Tommasi's farms in. Native of Veneto, Tommasi expanded beyond the region of Veneto in 1997, but that was their first foray outside of the northern Italian region. But to answer your question, in terms of the Prosecco, this wine was not produced at Tommasi until 2012. So we actually brought it to you in the United States in 2013. I don't know if your guests, I don't see anybody in attendance, but I'm sure people had the opportunity to purchase a bottle of the Filadora for this evening tasting.
No, so most guests do not have this. So they're basically it's just us talking about the wines, and we'll let them all know about it. No, not many people have picked these bottles up. So it's
here's the bottle. It's got that beautiful traditional, bold bottle. It's a single estate called Filadora. Filadora is in the heart of the growing region called Conegliano, Valdo Biadene, which is the premier 2 villages within the Prosecco DOCG. DOCG, the appellation that garners the name Prosecco, is where it's grown. So beyond those two villages, there's a few other villages, but the two main wines for quality are Conegliano, Biadene. The estate is right outside of the little town of Miane, which is halfway between the two villages. For those of you who have traveled to Veneto, this is a part of Veneto that's actually closer to the Friuli border, and it's about 45 kilometers, I'm sorry, I should say in kilometers, from Venice. This estate is basically a single private grower, and the sole purpose of their production is Prosecco. The Filadora is made with 100% Glera, which is the official grape of Prosecco, and it is from crush to bottle. It's a very quick 45-day process. First fermentation, which gives the base wine, is a simple base wine that goes into, after crush, goes in stainless steel. First fermentation is over. It is pumped out of the vat, put into another stainless steel cuvee, yeast and sugar added, and within 30 days, you get the effervescence, which is immediately transferred to the bottle and ready to be sold to the export market, because about 70% of all production of Filadora for Tommasi is the export market, with a big share of that being North America. What we love about this wine is it's in its simplicity. It's got a light straw color. It is bright and elegant. It's uncomplicated, but it has this beautiful stony fruit type of appeal. It's pear, it's like a beautiful pear, maybe crushed banana. It has hints of lime, lemon peel, and tiny bubbles, tiny effervescence, which really sparkles on your tongue. So I love this wine because it gives you a sense of sharing, and it's a great aperitif wine.
We've done a lot of Proseccos. We've done a lot of Cavas on the show over the last 20 some weeks.
Yeah.
This is
bubbles, sparkling. And Christophe mentioned, this specific area, there's a lot of what I call the cheapo Proseccos, made to be a quick buck. But Tommasi, being such a legendary family in that corner of the world, as Christophe says, been making it for around 7-8 years now, but are not going to step on quality and things like that. And quite frankly, as he said, one of the two areas in which are really the Grand Cru, if I can say it, the Grand Cru of Prosecco. I mean, this is like literally the creme de la creme, vintage Proseccos that you see, things like that. So Tommasi is right there. And like I said, I think some of the best Proseccos being made, like I said, Friuli, high up in the mountains, right there on that border of that Austrian border up in the Alps. So perfect, cool climate varietal, but something as Christophe said, 45 days, because they got to get it back out to us quick, because this is a wine. It's a turn and burn wine. I mean, this is something that comes in and goes out pretty quick. So.
Danny, are you able to see the photo that I'm sharing?
Yes, I am. I can bring that up on the screen for everybody.
Yes, that would be great. So it's a very hilly area. As I said, it's the northeast part of Veneto, so it's quite a bit from their home base. It's about a 2-hour drive, an hour and a half drive from their home base. It's, as you can see, very green, very hilly. Depending on where you stand in that area, it could be from 450 feet to 1,500, 1,600 feet. So there's quite difference in topography. There's a multitude of microclimates, and as TC mentioned, there are a lot of Proseccos that are produced in high quantity, and the yields in the vineyards are very high in order to produce large amounts. At Philodora, the average yield is about 9,000 kilos per hectare, which is about 8,000 pounds per acre. It's very low. And when you know that it takes about a kilo of grapes to make a kilo and a half to make a bottle, in that instance, it's not that much. I just thought to let you know that this is something that we are not. Oh, so I got to stop sharing here, stop screen. The Philodora cannot be found everywhere. Only fine wine shops and restaurant wine lists. You will not find this at your local supermarket. The same goes with a lot of my wines, which we do not have in supermarkets. The appeal is definitely with Danny's shop and Danny's type of business. So that's it for Prosecco. If you have any questions, I'd love to yield some questions. Beautiful. You've got the banner telling you that it is a front line.
High production show here, Christophe. This isn't your regular Zoom call.
And there's another banner, I think, that it's appropriate that it needs to be across the screen. You know what I'm talking about.
Hold on. You're going too fast for me, TC. You can only do so much, but this is a porch pounder, folks. We'll have sound effects soon, but this is definitely a porch pounder. It is absolutely delicious.
Yes.
That is too good.
We're normally at 20, special price right now at 18 for tonight. If you're in our wine club, you can get the club level discount. If you go to loadedgrape.com, when you put the order 6 of these and put them in your cart, you can put your club level in the coupon code to get your club level discount. Folks, this is stellar wine. And if people are watching and they go, hey, wait a minute, I don't live in North Carolina and the Loaded Grapes there, we can ship to you. So shipping is up there. Just click shipping on the way out on any of these wines, and it will give you a shipping price, and we will ship that to you. So
and let's be honest, before we move to the next wine, don't just get 1 bottle of Prosecco. You got to get, I know Danny said 6, but a minimum 2 bottles. I mean, guys, when you're loading your cart, this is a 2, 3, 4 bottles. Because you drink one, that bottle's almost gone. And where's Vanna Vines? I mean, she stole the bottle.
Yeah, no, I'm doing double duty today. So if you see me looking, Vanna Vines is here in the house. She is watching the show, but she's also entertaining. So we're double duty here tonight, folks. But she'll be back next week joining us on the show. We'll have her on camera. I have that set up ability now. So the show's going places, Christophe. Going places. But let's keep the show rolling. Where are we going next?
So next we're going to Valpolicella. So Valpolicella is where the winery is located. The winery. One last thing I wanted to say about the Prosecco is, for those who are technical, it says DOC, not DOCG. The only reason is our crush facility for the Prosecco is not in the same area where the fruit comes from. So we've lost the G, the ability to sell it at DOCG.
Yeah.
It is a DOC still. It is 100% estate still. It's just not getting the G because the barreling facility and the production area are not the same.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Christophe.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And it's a natural cork, by the way, not a twist off or not a cheap cork.
Yep.
Awesome.
So we're going to Raphael. And so that allows me to tell you the story of the founder of Tommasi, who is Giacomo Tommasi, who was a humble farmer in 1902, working for a local landowner. And Giacomo had a very large family, just like most Catholic family. He had 8 children. And he approached his landlord one year and said, I would love if you'd allow me to purchase a small plot of land from you so I can pass it on to one of my children, to my family. And the landowner let him basically purchase his first 8 hectares, which may sound little, but it's 21 acres, and that was the birth of Tommasi Winery in 1902. And on that property was already a vineyard that was being farmed that was named Raphael. Oops, here we go. I got to get used to your camera. Raphael bears the appellation Valpolicella Classico Superiore. It's important to mention that it's a Classico Superiore because these two little words after the name of the region actually give you, how well rated this wine is. As you go up on the hills of Valpolicella, the further you go up, the more prized the vines are. So mid-level, you will see Classico, and the very top of the hillside is Superiore, where the fruit is, like the Italians say, superiore, superior in quality. So the indigenous grapes of Veneto, the red grapes of Veneto, are Covina, Covinone. It's not not share the same DNA, but it's a bigger size Covina, so bigger fruit. Rondinella, Molinara, and Ocellata, which is usually blended in small quantities. I wanted to share my screen, but I'm not sure it's coming through, Danny.
No,
I've tried twice already.
It didn't come through.
I don't see my PowerPoint.
Well, while you got to talk about that, I just want to say this has been one of my favorite wines from Tommasi, outside of, some of the other ones that I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. The one that we're going to talk about tonight, which we don't get about a lot, but
Danny?
The Raphael, guys, has been
excellent. Okay, very good.
Fantastic wine, one of my favorites.
Yeah, this wine, the last time, Christophe, we did this wine in the shop in a tasting, sold out immediately.
Right.
I was trying to get you on here so we can talk about it. Sold out of this wine immediately. Took two, 3 people, and we went through everything I had in the shop, and we had to kind of just start taking orders from that point on. This wine, as I pour myself a little bit more, and I'll let you talk here, Christophe, because when showcasing something from Tommasi, this is the wine I would always grab right here, because this is yummy and delicious.
And what I love about this wine too, and Christophe, because I know you're here to host, but the one thing I can say, and we're all wine sales people, right? I mean, we're wine lovers, but we're here to sell wine. We're salesmen. The red blend category is blown up, but I think oftentimes here, in America, the red blend means, Zin heavy, Petite Syrah heavy, big jammy reds, and hey, California those. If you talk about a nice medium to maybe medium minus red blend, I know I'm kind of taking a little bit of license with that term, but hey, I think everyone does, right, when it says red blend. So when people start presenting the red blend, this is what I present. So anyway, see, we got a little video or a little slide.
Is this going through, Danny? Because I'm having trouble maneuvering.
You're good. You're in. Go ahead and start your talk.
Yeah, it's not coming. It's not allowing me to go through. So I guess I'm just going to go. Just going to talk about it because the video somehow is not working. I am going to. See, the PowerPoint is not coming through at all. I apologize.
That's okay.
It could be because I have 2 of them open, maybe. Let's see if I close one. So this one doesn't work.
So new T-shirt. Because he said cause. I think cause Valpolicella. I think that's a new T-shirt.
New T-shirt.
Yeah.
New T-shirt.
Cause Valpolicella made me do it. I think that's what it is.
I tell you, this. Things got me speechless.
Yeah.
Because I really once I share the price point on this, people are going to go crazy on this.
You know,
they should.
I mean, guys, there's you really can't go wrong with anything in the bunch. I mean, this is something, you know, if you're a veteran of virtual vines, which I promise, I think a bumper sticker, maybe not a shirt, but like a bumper sticker, because that's like hardcore. Like bumper stickers are hardcore. I mean, you got to show your love putting on a bumper sticker, right?
We have to make up some bumper stickers.
But this is something, guys, that you know, quite frankly, this is a touch of the old world, right? This is like a little bit of that earth without being too earthy. It's a little bit of that like kind of crushed leaf without being too autumny, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that's what throws some people off if they don't want to dip their toe in this. So this is something, again, I think it goes across the board. And it's a red for those out there watching that love Sangiovese, that love Merlot, love Pinot Noir, honestly, love Beaujolais. We've done some Beaujolais on the show. I think this is a wine, you know, it's a little spicier, you know, it's got that little pepper as Christophe mentioned, those varietals, but this is a fun wine to do it at a party. And guys, I mean, you know, so this next California wines, this is the wine that's going to go away. So
let's let Christophe.
Thanks for taking over while I was trying to figure out my digital data. I think I've got it on now. If you want to switch us, so as you could see on this map, the Valpolicella area, it's pretty extensive. Now Valpolicella, and I will quickly move down to my next one. So earlier we were in this little pink zone here where Conegliano is, about straight up north from Venice, about 50 kilometers away in the province of Treviso, where we were here. Now we go straight west, and we are on the eastern edge of Lake Garda. I'm going to give you a map that is a little closer. Here we go. And now we are in Valpolicella. So Lake Garda is right on the edge here. You see my little cursor?
Yep.
Lake Garda right here. So you've got part of our the vineyard estates are very influenced by the mild climate and the winds that come in from Lake Garda. And the winery is located in Piedemonte, which is really, so as it goes here, it's very flat land. And the Tommasi family has several estates. The Raphael estate is actually located right above the winery, above the town of Piedemonte, which is at midway through one of the 5 finger hills. So the 5 finger hills are very essential to Valpolicella because they mark quality. And so if you look at the hills, if you make a fist with your hills, and you will see, you know, that there's 5 hills and 5 valleys. On the very western part, the 2 valleys on the western part is where most of the winery's holdings are. So this is one of the original vineyards called Ca Florian. Notice the traditional pergola, which is slowly being phased out in favor of the Guyot. One of the reasons for that is not yield, specifically yield, is the change in styles that the Valpolicella wines have gone through. They used to be very traditional, light and fruity, and the canopy, the natural canopy that a pergola offers, makes wines that are just more simple, lighter. The Guyot allows for the fruit to be more exposed, more fuller, for the wines to be fuller, maybe slightly higher in alcohol. And so I wanted to show you this vineyard. Next is the Concadoro, which is one of the vineyards that goes into the production of the Amarone, which we'll finish with today, as well as La Groleta, which is the premier Amarone vineyard that is blended with Concadoro. This is taken right before harvest. Note the very light color soils, which are, influenced by, this is the foothills of the Alps. You found yourself in high altitude, but not quite as high as the high Alps. So you've got a rocky terrain here. Valpolicella in the area is known for their marble quarries. So there's a lot of that in quartz and such. We'll talk about this. I wanted to show you a picture of Raphael. I think I have to share something else for that. So if you don't mind, while we transition to...
While you do that, I'm going to talk a little bit shop and price on this one. This one, wrong one. Oops, the wrong one. Okay, there we are. The Raphael Valpolicella Superior.
That's not right. Right? You check the prices, right? $16.
Yeah, 16.
Oh my goodness! Wow, guys.
Yeah,
if you're not blowing up, if
yeah.
you're not blowing,
yeah.
I can see the Christophe. He's like, guys, I'm gonna text you. You're killing me here.
I'm already
on the pricing.
Yeah.
You're putting this stuff on YouTube now. I mean, you guys are killing me.
We're killing it. We're gonna move lots of it.
This is that's case pricing, guys. $16. I mean,
that would normally be case pricing, but because you're watching Virtual Vines, and these deals are only for a short period of time and only last this week, so you're going to want to get your orders in. Jump on it. Normally, we'd on the shelf at 18. You'd be on getting it for 16. If you're in our wine club, you can be getting it with your wine club discounts. You just have to go over to loadedgrape.com. Go ahead and throw it in your cart and order these, because I'm telling you right now, this is definite 2 bottles, because the first one's going to be gone. We're crushing wine tonight, TC.
Well, let's just go ahead and one thing I can say: holidays are coming up. I mean, lowest common denominator. It's a fantastic wine, but let's just show that bottle again. I mean, guys, if you want to give it, I mean, that's a sexy.
Single vineyard blend.
Oh my God!
Very, very tame acids, low tannins. You were mentioning earlier. This is a great alternative to a Pinot Noir.
Absolutely.
Or a Beaujolais Village. It has the subtleness. It has the softness of the fruit, and this is great with cured meats and cheese. This is great with spice ribs. This is great with white meats on the barbecue, like pheasant or chicken, or I don't know who eats pheasant, but I thought I'd put it out there.
Thighs, right? Chicken thighs, right?
Exactly.
We're in the South. Pheasant, that's a possibility.
Oh, you need a bigger bird.
Bigger bird. Yeah. Lots of pheasants.
Lots of pheasants.
Listen, just TC, John Rodeo said, man, let him price it to where he wants to price it.
I'm telling you, John. I mean, and I know we play good cop, bad cop. I know that's our role, but this guy always sharpens a pencil. But I think he sharpened it even more having Christophe on the show. And because guys, these are some fantastic. I know I always say it, but he's got my credit card on file. He's not going to buy some of these wines tonight. So
I put a picture of the Raphael. I don't know if you could see it.
Yep, I can.
So single vineyard, guys. I mean, like a single vineyard wine for $16. It's hard to believe. Note the manicure aspect of the vineyard. It is like you could eat off the floor. It is the old traditional high vines pergola, but the fruit is delicious, isn't it? It drinks so easily.
It is so good, and really, to tell you the truth, guys. TC's right. With the holidays coming up, not only does this bottle drink really well, it presents really well. It's got beautiful kind of.
It just looks classically
display
Italian.
On the
classic
Italian.
I mean, if you've ever seen a classic Italian like fresco, any type, that just looks. You look at that bottle and you're like, wow, that just looks, alla Italiana.
The embossed glass. It looks more expensive than what it is, and it drinks more expensive than what it is.
Paid $16
so you don't have to tell anybody you paid $16. They're going to think you paid a lot more. So definitely, that's a great idea for the holidays coming up. It drinks amazing.
And I guess that's what we're going to keep saying tonight. But what's the next one? Because I think the word of the night is fantastic. The
Rappacello.
I probably can't take one or the other. I mean, you talk about twist my arm, right? I mean, all these wines are fantastic.
So I shared my screen again here, Danny.
Yep, right there with you.
So Poggio a Tuffo, as I mentioned before, the fourth generation, which is basically the great-grandkids of Giacomo, decided to go beyond Veneto and went like over 400 miles away to Tuscany. And not any particular, I mean, a very particular spot in Tuscany called Maremma. Maremma is very unique and secluded compared to the central Tuscany or the hills of Chianti. It's a very south coast of Tuscany on the Estuarian Sea. It's basically bordering the province of Lazio. Poggio a Tuffo, as you can see on my screen here, started in 97, and it's 9 siblings and cousins that started it. So it is in the province of Grosseto. It's a very interesting part of the coast because that area has no interstate leading to it, and you really have to venture completely out. It's probably about an hour from Montalcino, straight south. If you were in Bolgheri, which is on the coast of Tuscany, but north in the province of Livorno, you'd have to drive 2.5 hours to get to Grosseto. The vineyard is in the town of Italiano. It's a beautiful, ancient, early century Jewish settlement that has the particularity of being built on top of the Tuffo hills, which are ancient volcanic rocks. As you can see, that white rock right there, the buildings are built right on it. I don't know if you could see it close enough.
Yeah,
anyway, it's a beautiful fortified village that found himself to be there before the Roman Empire wasn't even dominating the way it was in the early centuries. The estate of Poggio a Tuffo it's about 15 minutes outside of the town, and it is beautiful grounds. The vineyards are planted in the Tuffo soil, which you can see it's a slight reddish tint to it, but the Tuffo is a very porous soil, a very poor soil, and it allows for a combination of native and non-indigenous grapes to be planted. Because we are very close to the proximity to the coast, these vineyards have a very Mediterranean influence. Mediterranean influence means that it is warmer, sun-drenched, but there's good winds coming in from the ocean. There's good diurnal temperatures, which means that during day and night there are very, very high differences in temperature. Warm days, cool nights, never freezes, never snows, very Mediterranean in style. The vineyards are planted with essentially 3 varieties, 2 non-indigenous, Cabernet Sauvignon and Alicante, and 1 indigenous, which is Sangiovese. So for those of you who are traveled and have been to various regions in Tuscany, you know that Sangiovese does very well in the hillside and inlands of Chianti, and not particularly well on the coast of Tuscany. Well, we are far enough within the coast here that Sangiovese grows very well. And it grows in a higher elevation of the Rompicolo vineyard, which tend to have less organic matter and where Sangiovese is more expressive. In the lower lying areas, there's more Cabernet Sauvignon and Alicante. The wine that you have in your glass right now, Rompicolo, which in Italian Rompicolo means neck breaker, is a blend of 60% Sangiovese and 40% Cabernet Sauvignon. The Tommasi family is unique in one way. They're very traditional in their barrel, their oak treatment of all their wines. They don't believe in putting wines in new oak, in small barrels. They believe in old Slovenian barrels, and that are between 2,000 hectoliters up to 25,000 hectoliters. In fact, the largest barrel, Slovenian barrel, to date in the Guinness World of Record is it in Tommasi in Veneto, and it's called the Magnifica, and it has 44,000 liter, which is basically the equivalence of 50, I've got it written down somewhere, 60,000 bottles, something like that.
Wow.
So there's no running off with that one, and there's
right.
no, we just getting that out of the winery, right? So
what I love about Rompiccolo is that it's got a very modern approach. It's got that fruit richness. It's got the DNA of Tuscany with the 40% Sangiovese, which gives the wine that earthiness and that, that dustiness without overwhelming the blend. The Cabernet Sauvignon makes this one very modern, very fruity, and extremely drinkable. Guys, you've got the wine in your glass right now, like I do.
When you were talking about that, Christophe, a couple of things came to mind. First off, when you mentioned like a dry Mediterranean climate, I mean, I don't know, I read this somewhere, only like 2% of the globe has a true dry Mediterranean climate, Tuscany, Napa being one of them. So for those of you out there watching, Napa, this is an area, as he mentioned, it's kind of right on that cusp where Sangiovese meets Cabernet and Bulgari, which is great for those Bordeaux varietals. So to me, if I can almost, I don't know if this phrase has been used before, but, kind of like a classic claret. This is like a Tuscan claret because Tuscany does great. I mean, I also did great Merlot. I know there's a touch of Syrah out there, but Cabernet from this area and Sangiovese, which is Tuscany, this is like a Tuscan claret. I mean, what do you guys think?
This is one we've done in the shop before. Yeah. It always is just one of those, oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
It's oh yeah. No, you'll like this. Because of the blend of it, this drinks.
Well, I try not
to
do
one wine we picked tonight that doesn't just drink amazing, but this is, I would say, almost my shocker of the night. Because I know how much I love the Raphael. The Prosecco's Prosecco.
Sure.
I know the next two, how they're going to drink. So this one's going to be my shock of the night.
Well, this is the wine, when you first poured it, the Cabernet leaped off the glass. Blue fruit, violet. It's this wine, you come for the cab, you stay for the Sangiovese. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what happens with this wine. You first get the cab, and then now I'm drinking, now I'm swirling. That Sangiovese, that silkiness, that smooth, it kind of says, TC, take another sip, which again, acidity, folks, when we talk about acidity, easiest way put, it should make you want to take another sip of the wine or a bite of food. This one makes me want to take another sip of the wine. So the acidity's there, but for those of you, again, that kind of go, wait a minute, guys, Italy, really, guys, Rompiccolo, if this isn't your entree to European, i.e. Tuscan, Italian wines, we can't be friends. I'm sorry, As I always say, what
I personally love about this wine is its approachability. It is not. It's not something you have to worry. Oh, should we put it down? Should we drink it? This is immediate purchase for drinking. It has the potential of age very well because of the high percentage of Cabernet in it, 40%. That's very. It's very important to know that these wines are. They're very easy, approachable in a young age. It's got beautiful red and blue fruit in it. 2-3 years in after purchase, I would say you could drink it. 2016 was an excellent vintage. We actually were lucky. The American press, gravitated towards this wine. We received 93 points. And again, for a wine that is under $20,
well deserved.
It is magical.
You said it for a wine that is under $20. Let me give the price,
93
folks.
points too.
93 point wine.
$16
$16 again tonight. Special price. Like he's about to take the bottle and just start going like this with it.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing to me, Danny?
Vines, the internet, the shopping cart needs to be blowing up tonight.
Christophe, just know that right now the show isn't as popular. Once this thing takes off, then you can start going, Dan, I don't have that much in inventory. I don't have the pallets.
Now we're going to 3, 4, 5, 6 cases.
We're cases right now. When we get to pallets, then you can start yelling at me. But even then, you probably won't be upset, moving pallets. But let's just say
we'll be on the show from Tommasi at that point.
Exactly. Well, today we're in Italy. That would be nice. But no, we this is part of the reason we came to the show is to give everybody some great, amazing deals during what was a challenging time in the wine industry and for wine shops across the nation. And now things are coming back a little bit and things are opening up and restaurants are open and stuff like that. But we still want you to be able to drink amazing wines at home. So go over to loadedgrape.com, put this in your cart right there. If you go right to the homepage and just scroll down, Virtual Vines, tonight's show, the wines we're featuring are right there. So you can do that. And I know, Christophe, you're already saying, hey, let's go to the straight 100% cab from Tommasi. I'm all with you. Hey, let's do it. Let's go there.
This is the wine that should sell itself, guys. This is the wine. If you don't trust any of these beautiful faces on the screen right now, this is the wine you need to be putting in your cart right here, right? So
absolutely. It is a true 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, which is very hard to find nowadays because Cabernet Sauvignon, most of you don't know this, but are blended. This is 100%. This is monovarietal. It is, and Cabernet has taken like a duck to water in Maremma. Some areas where Cabernet is planted, including Bordeaux, may not ripen properly in some vintages, may have to hang on the vine longer, maybe lighter in some vintages than others. There's such a high amount of luminosity and sun in the area that the Cabernet here has got beautiful fruit appeal and fully ripened. I truly endorse this as a great wine to challenge some of you to blind taste with some of your Cabernet drinkers, and you will fool them to believe that this is an Italian Cabernet. It is modern in its approach. It is ripe and juicy. It is fantastic. And again, I mean, with this multitude of foods, I don't need to go over it, but anything that you can throw on the barbie, anything roasted, braised, anything that will come from deep root vegetables, something that just comes from from the earth will match beautifully with this wine.
Christophe, I just threw up the little porch pounder thing. We'll do it right here. Porch pounder. Yes. If you are a Cabernet drinker, this is a porch pounder. I know we're getting to the point where we should be going away from the porch, but more closer to the fireplace or the the outdoor fire pit.
You got a space heater.
Whatever it is. This wine is the wine you want to have. This is going to go down so silky smooth, so delicious.
And again, a great price.
California.
Yeah, I mean,
a virtual 90-pointer every year for under $20. Correct?
Yeah, this is.
I mean, don't go throwing away the headline because it's not.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
All right, close. 21. But if you're in the wine club,
this guy's. I mean, I know. Maybe TC always overinflates. This is a $35. Yeah. And you'd be happy to pay $35 retail, as in this is normally like 40 down to 35, maybe 32, and you get. This wine elevated, over delivering, everything in the bunch, guys. But if I had to pinpoint one wine for people out there that are just, again, Cabernet lovers but want to branch out. They tuned in. They saw Christophe a few weeks ago. They love the Desero Cabernet. Restaurants, when they say, TC, you know what? We already have a California Cabernet. Bring me a Cabernet not from California. I always bring this. Probably the only problem I have with this wine is there's so many accounts in the state. it's not a secret anymore. So many accounts now have figured this wine out. So guess what? We get a drop, and I tell people like, "Hey, Danny, I got 20 cases." He's like, "Well, that's good." I'm like, "No. 20 cases is not a lot. We're going to get. I mean, there's going to be like 3 calls. I mean, we won't mention names here, but we all know around the state that's going to take most of it. And so, hey, and I'm like, Danny, bring it in." So again, this is honestly, if I can say, this is probably the reason we're having this tasting. I think a year ago we did a tasting in the shop, about 2 vintages, probably maybe 1 vintage ago, 2 vintages. And this sold out immediately. So, and this was, you guys were Tommasi fans immediately, right?
This wasn't even in a straight Tommasi tasting. This was just, hey, we were doing cabs from around the world tasting, and this cab just crushed anything from California, crushed the rest of the world. This cab was what everybody wanted, and you're right. We several cases also from that tasting, and so this is one.
Well, we were
not a shock to me.
We were out for about a month and a half.
Yeah,
I couldn't even get it. TC. We're at the Tommasi cab. I'm like, guys, it'll be here.
Couldn't get it.
Yeah, it'll be here as soon as we can.
Couldn't get it. So
what I love about these 2 wines from Peugeot to Full, beyond what we've already spoken about, is that you would think that Sun Rancheria, Cabernet Sauvignon, you would think that it would bear the alcohol levels of a hot region. It is not. You find yourself here in a very moderate alcohol content. You find 13% alcohol, which, do you know what that means? It means that you can actually have 2 glasses and not be too loopy.
Porch pounder, right? Yeah, absolutely. That's
it is.
It is a pounder.
Cabernet.
But it has everything you're looking for in a Cabernet. It's very inviting. It's very, very inviting.
Very modern approach, but it's not overly oaky. It doesn't kind of put you in the oak headlock, right?
And that's the benefits of the Slovenian barrel. The Slovenian barrel gives no oak flavors whatsoever. So what you get here is the essence of Cabernet. It imparts no flavor in the end product. So I could not participate in this great tasting without showing you the icon of the Tommasi property, which is the Amarone.
Yes.
And we are lucky because we are showing you the 2015 vintage.
Well, before we get right there, let me just do one little more sell on this. If you go to loadedgrape.com, we do have this Cabernet, $21 a bottle. If you're in our club, you're going to get this bottle for club discount if you put in the coupon code your level. So if you're in the Cellar Club, you write Cellar in the coupon. If you're Estate. If you're Reserve. If you're Grand Reserve or Reserve, you just put Reserve in the coupon code, because that's going to bring that bottle under $20, like you were saying before. Amazing wine, and really, tell you the truth, if you're a cab drinker and you don't throw 2 of these in, you're going to be upset because you're going to open the first one. It's going to go down, and you're going to be like, "Oh, I wish I had a second one of those." Dan.
Well, that's your Tuesday night wine, but Christophe's about to throw down that Saturday night fever, baby. I mean, this is that wine where we need to break out that John Travolta. I mean, this deserves a little extra. I mean, Andy said 2015, which I'm excited. I mean, I can't believe we were able to pop open a bottle of this. Christophe, I hope you got an Andy or something.
2015 is all in the country.
Oh my God!
The state is now releasing 2016, which will be your next shipment from Italy, TC. So every single 2015 vintage is in America. I want to point to the label because it's a very traditional label. In fact, the original house of Giacomo is the house right there in the drawing. And it was added to. In fact, that tower and the arches, that was added. That house right here, that part of the label, that was his house. These parts were added on later to accommodate for his growth, his family and the actual cellar and all this. But so very, very traditional. Now let's talk about Amarone, because that's the king appellation of Appolicella. And so Amarone, which wasn't actually a DOCG until the late 1960s, is a very, very particular wine. And what makes Amarone so exceptional? Well, just like Raphael, Amarone is a blend. And like every blend, it in the region, it has all the native grapes. Corvina, which is a thick skin variety, is just the core of this wine. It has to be at least 50%. The blend is exactly the same as the Raphael, except for the fact that we take the fruit, and I'm going to show you. You're sharing my screen, right?
Yeah, I'm going to add this up to there. Oh, there you go.
The grapes are harvested in September, and they placed in a large hanger at the winery on bamboo straw trays, and called arele. And the arele allows for these grapes, who are meticulously placed on the trays, to slowly dry. And at Tommasi, we take the grapes, which are, here we go, the Corvina, the Rondinella, the Corvinone, and the Ostelletta. And on day one, the grapes are plump and juicy. And on day 100, when we actually take them off the trays and put them into the press, they look like this.
Oh, wow.
And so all the pulp has evaporated, and what you left with is a very rich juice. About 40% of the pulp has completely disappeared. So the yields are extremely small. You know, just to give you an idea,
Christophe, just as a quick question as you're doing this, because me thinking somebody who loves like ice wine and everything else, and watching that happen on the vine. So when it doesn't happen on the vine, and it happens on the drying, in a sense, a rack. Really all it does is let the liquid out, doesn't let the sugars out.
Yeah, the water. Yeah. Yep.
So it gets rid of the excess water because the fruit was harvested at peak ripeness. It does not have high amounts of sugar, like as if it was late harvested. So what you left is truly the essence of the variety, without the excess sugar. Yeah. But because you're pressing a dry fruit, there's going to be, the presence of more sugar than there's juice. And so an average Amarone will be, in 14.5 to 15% alcohol, and that varies from one estate to the other. Talk about the style of Amarone. Now, our grandfather's Amarone may have been a wine of extreme motanic properties, and wine that you would have to lay down for several years before you could touch it. But this is the new generation of winemakers now making Amarones that are very approachable at a young age. And so in terms of the Tommasi style, you have traditional winemakers, and you've got the contemporary winemakers, and Tommasi falls right in the middle, because they're traditional in that they use a Slovenian oak, as I mentioned to you before. It gives the wine some complexity, but it does not give it any type of oak flavors. It allows the wine to evolve over a long period of time. And Amarone stays in the barrel for 24 months, and then after the wine is bottled, it stays another 12 months before release.
I know you had in your slide
the barrel aging followed by the bottle aging, and it's very important.
I know you had in your slideshow, because we're not talking about like American, we're talking barrels.
No, let me show you the barrel when I'm talking.
I think very.
So these are our barrels. Okay, are we talking about an average of 3,500 hectoliters? Let's see, that would be a liter is about 0.26 gallons. So let's see.
Are those double barrels? Are those like demi-mews or double barrels?
Oh, no. They're bigger than druids. They're bigger than that. I want to show you a picture of the barrel I was telling you earlier, the largest barrel, and that's Magnificat right here. That barrel right here is it basically is 8,800 gallons.
8,800 gallons. Wow.
And it is actually full either.
Made of wood.
So what do they do with that, Christophe? Is that just for tours as people go by and get like a little skosh of that as they go, or what? I mean, how does that?
Right now, inside Magnificat is the 2019 harvest part of it. So I was making a quick calculation, multiply that by 33,000. Yeah, so you're looking at so that's what I said, 8,700 gallons. So
wow.
So Christophe, correct me if I'm wrong, and I think one of the things that was maybe told to me years ago and that stuck with me is that Amarone, the style, as you mentioned, the dry aging, was kind of Valpolicella, the region, which is otherwise very cool. You know, as you mentioned, it's in the northeastern part of Italy, which is quite frankly known for cool climate varietals, Secco, even things like that. This was their answer to like Barolo and Brunello, right? I mean, that was their answer to that. And I guess my second part of that, being a hospitality business, which I think you know, we pretty much all are here in this room. That was, to me, when I had a table of people, family, businessmen, whomever, drinking like Napa Cab all night, and somebody says, you know what, TC, bring me something from Europe. It can't be Burgundy, you know. I mean, we're drinking big reds. We've already kind of passed on, but I need something from the little world. Amarone was one of the easiest sells for me because I knew it was at the level of sophistication, but also had that where's the beef, right? And that dry aging, it's like dry aging beef, right? And to me, you know, as you mentioned, you know, the yield goes down. I mean, it goes down considerably, and just like dry aging, you're going to pay more for that dry age, but some connoisseurs, critics, whomever, would agree or consider that tertiary, that third, fourth extra layer. I mean, we're sitting here to Christophe, but usually we, as you can tell, we're not at a loss for words. This is a wine. Oh my God, I can just sit here and shut up, and we can just have a moment of silence for Amarone.
I don't know if everybody saw it, but like when we first started drinking this wine, we kind of looked at each other and was like,
I mean, this is silky smooth. I mean, I think when you were talking about the grapes, to me, this is like you take a car and you're like, I want to pimp it out. I mean, this is like you pimp my ride. You know, this is like as pimped out as these grapes can be, right?
But we're gonna talk to this because we're talking about 2015.
Yeah.
2015 Italian wines.
Going to go down as a legendary vintage. I mean, one of the best vintages the past decade.
Everything we've drank from 2015 has been superior,
stellar,
in its drinkability, and now we're talking about a wine. Yes, you know, we're talking 5 years on this one at this point, and I'm literally going, oh, how many can I afford to buy tonight? Because this wine is drinking. Oh,
so I just want to remind people because of the, you know, it takes about 10 kilos of Amarone fruit to make one bottle. 10 kilos. That means it takes about 20 pounds. 20 pounds of crushed dry fruit to make a single bottle. So that's why in great majority, Amarone is not inexpensive. Yeah. But I wanted to go back to, you see, $70.
Yeah, so I have it down to $70.
I wanted to go back to the style because it really has evolved in the last 30 years. You know, 30 years ago, the three of us would be drinking this as the last wine of the evening, even maybe as a digestif, you know, an after dinner drink.
5 years early, almost.
Right.
Early, yeah.
Because of the nature of the wine business and how Valpolicella has evolved, both in like winemaking methods and as a more modern, more internationally visited region, the Amarone today is way more approachable in style. It is still full body. It is still what you expect. It's a full body wine. That's something that would do extremely well with like, like blue cheese and like, you know, spicy cheese and and roasted meats and all that stuff. But you know, the tannins are soft. I don't want you to think that this is not like a Cabernet, which is heavy in tannins and a mouthful of this. It's not. It's a super soft wine,
Silky
but
sweet.
it is full body and it's got that richness that you're looking for. In a Cabernet, you will find it in Amarone. And then, you know, there's, for those of you who've traveled to Valpolicella, there's different style of Amarone. There's the Ricciotto di Valpolicella, which is basically Amarone, but vines that we were talking about earlier, a cluster that have stayed on the vine longer and that have shriveled and that are really high in sugar upon picking. And the style is the sweet wine of Amarone. It's called the Ricciotto di Valpolicella, and it's made with Amarone grapes. But basically, for those of you who are literal, Amarone means the big bitter. Amarone in Italian is bitter, and none is bigger. It's bigger than bitter. So it's not a bitter wine.
No,
but it is a big wine.
It is big. It is very big, but very smooth.
Iron fist, velvet glove. I know you said that. I know it's a cliche, but for those of you out there watching that love, you know, that don't mind. I mean, again, I know, you know, I say Napa, but you know that Napa's Cabernet. This is totally different. But for those of you looking for that big, medium plus, you know, like heavy minus, you know, depending on your tannin level, you want something to age, but you also want to break out the guns on a Tuesday night. Amarone is where it's at, guys. This right here is going to hold up to anything you're going to break out from the Barossa Valley, anything from Mendoza, anything from Napa, anything from the New World. Because again, I think one thing that always gets pegged. I mean, hey, let's break out, you know, our Burgundies early on in the night. But this is, you know, by the time at the end of the night, you know, you need something. Everyone's drinking the heavy stuff. This is something to break out. This is something everyone's going to be able to taste, actually. So
it's rich without being too heavy.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about this wine. It's 15% alcohol, but low, considerably residual sugar is somewhat in check at about 5 grams per liter. So again, just a very sad wine.
Christophe, what would you eat with this?
I mean, like I said, I would definitely like game and ripe cheese, something even with a, you know, even a spicy cheese. Look, you and I agree on one thing, guys, is that this is a great wine just to sit around and chat.
Oh, absolutely.
This, if you want to impress some friends during the holidays, this is the wine to do it with. And I'm in there right now. I know I'm grabbing a bottle or two.
I mean, this is something to say. I mean, let's just go ahead and say, I won't say porch pounder, but this is like if you have like a wraparound porch, maybe a longer. If you're porch pounding this, let me know. I'll give you my email. I gladly come over because this is your Tuesday night wine because you know. But this is the wraparound porch pounder. Right?
It really is, and you know, we don't normally go this high typically in virtual vines. We've gone there.
Yeah.
We don't do it often.
But we got Christophe coming in the show.
But when we do it, folks, we do it for a reason, and that's because this wine at this price point, even at 70, and if you're in our wine club and you're getting discounts on top of that. You know, let's say if you're in our reserve or grand reserve and getting 15% off of this wine, I'm crushing the internet on this, and I'm literally telling you there's no reason why you shouldn't buy a bottle today, because that price is you know, the $70 price is kind of right around what I think a total wine would sell it at, and I'm telling you right now that going even below that is
one thing. I mean, I know we've talked ad nauseum about the quality of Tommasi, but if one thing, you know, again, the house is burning down, all these wines. If you got to save one thing, I mean, you know, Karen McNeil, Janice Robinson, you know, Christophe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever they mention Amarone and the style, if there's 1 or 2 or 3 producers that they mention, Tommasi and that label is one of the most classic, most iconic style. I mean, I know Italy and they have producers that have been making wine for centuries, but Tommasi for Amarone is quintessential. I mean, for that style. So you really can't, and for ageability as well. So
Well, we're going to get wrapping up here, Christophe. Thank you so much for joining
thank you so
us
much for coming in. I appreciate it.
and sharing your knowledge on these wines. I do want to ask a couple of quick questions. One, as the importer, how did you discover Tommasi?
Well, Michael Quintus, who owns Vintus, was a Italian aficionado for a long time, and he was very interested in representing the wines of Tommasi before they were even came into the conversation. It was in Italy a couple decades ago when they first started talking, and one thing led to another, and they were looking for a change, and Michael's passion for Italy is what sold the Tommasi family, and it was right after the Tommasi family went and invested in Tuscany and the Poggio a Tuffo property that we, as a company, started over. In fact, we imported their first vintage of Poggio a Tuffo in the United States. So it was from that moment on, our relationship has really flourished. The Tommasi family, as you saw in the short video, has purchased several estates since then. We are the representatives of their Montalcino property, their Puglia property, their Basilicata property, their Caseo property, and we are extremely proud to represent them. But it's a simple friendship that transpired into a working relationship, and Pier Angelo Tommasi, the president and export director, puts it in very simple terms. He said, "You are an extension to our family. We are dealing with them the one-on-one, picking up the phone and talking with them. This is the family relationship that we've been able to cultivate."
And an Italian thing, when you become family, you're family.
Oh, yeah, you're family.
You're family.
Absolutely.
Family, familia means everything. So, so the Louis Hughes wants to know how long to cellar an Amarone.
How long would the Amarone cellar? And again, 2015. Get it, Louis. Can I go ahead and say before Christophe?
Get it.
This is 2015. It's stateside. We have it. Get it, my friend. 6-pack cases with your discount. Get it, Christophe. Take over.
If you this balanced wine will continue doing very well for the next decade. Beyond that is really how you like to consume your wines. I'm of European descent. I tend to hang on to my wines longer. I like to taste them along the way. So if you like Amarone as it tastes right now in the glass, buy yourself several bottles and then open one in 5 years, open one in 10 years, and you'll see how the wine evolves. You know, I say well-balanced wines will age better. This is a very well-balanced wine.
Very balanced.
Very well.
I will tell you, and for somebody like me who gets to taste Amarones and Barolos and Brunellos from lots of different distributors and importers, this is probably one of the best I've had in a long time. It is so good, and like I'm telling you, I'm bringing home several bottles of this and cellaring it because it is that good. And I know I'm going to want to sneak in there and grab one, but I also know that I want to see what it would taste like a couple of years down the road and a couple of years past that too, and then I'm going to be upset once I realize I don't have any more to drink because I know it's going to age very well. So Louis, you're welcome for that.
That's when we'll have the 2025 vintage. We'll do a virtual vines on the Amalfi Coast, and we'll be like, guys, remember the 2015 vintage? Remember how great that was? Do you have a few bottles of that left?
I wish I would say I would have, but
all right. Thank you so much, Christophe, for coming in and tuning in on Monday. I can't thank you enough for all you do, for Tryon, for me, in the Loaded Grape too. So thank you so much, sir.
Danny, it was my pleasure. TC, thank you so much for coordinating everything. Gentlemen, I'm always at your disposal.
We will have because rumor has it we might have to try to do something in November with Eagle.
Yeah. Hey, always in the works. I mean, we always have something. Right. Vintus, we have a big playbook.
Playbook.
Tommasi, we're just scratching the surface tonight.
Yes.
I would love to do that, Danny. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Christophe.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a good night.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to do a quick little recap of everything we did, and then we're going to sign off. As I know, I already start seeing the orders coming through. Folks are loving the Tommasi stuff, and what we had was first off.
I mean, hour and 14. That feels like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I know. It went by so fast.
So fast. Oh my goodness.
Especially when we talk about the first 5. Was just waiting for some folks to tune in. So we did the Prosecco. This wine.
It's already gone.
It's gone. We drank it, but
I don't know if it's the bubbles. They just evaporate in the sky.
$18 with your discount if you're in the wine club. An amazing deal. Then we went over to what I will probably tell you: if you do not get a couple of the bottles of this, you're going to be upset, and then you'll be asking me for more of it. The Raphael at 18 normally on our shelves, down to 16 plus your discount. Beautiful bottle. By the way, look at that. It's got the Superiore. And you got this cool embossed. I'm telling you right now, get this. Bring it to parties, and people are going to think that you brought.
Turn heads.
You're going to turn heads because one,
brownie
it's absolutely
points,
delicious,
points,
and they're going to think that you spent $30, $40 on a bottle of wine, and you're going to be like, "Thank God for virtual vines! I saved a fortune."
And you can say, "I just spent $25 at Loaded Grape."
25 at the Loaded Grape. Yeah, go on over to Loaded Grape and check them out. Then we did the Rumpacola.
The Tuscan Claret, the Sangiovese Cabernet blend, guys.
I got to do that. I got to do that right there. So there's where everybody see the price.
Oh yeah, perfect.
So $18 on the shelf at the Loaded Grape, bringing it down to $16 tonight. Again, you can get your wine club discounts on top of that. So absolutely, and let me just tell you, so 60% cab, 40%.
When he poured it in the glass, that cab wafted, and the Sangiovese again.
It's at the back.
You come for the cab, you stay for the Sangiovese.
Right. That's if you love Sangiovese and you love cab, this wine's for you. And I'm going to tell you right now, at that price, you're definitely going to want 2 or 3.
That's the hidden wine tonight. Guys. That's the wine tonight. That's the wine tonight. Everybody's going to miss. Everyone's going to buy the Prosecco. You're going to buy 1 bottle of Amarone and some Raphael or Cab. You're going to forget the Rompicolo, guys. Yeah. That's the wine. Don't sleep. That's the sleeper wine.
Sleeper wine where people are going to go, oh, I wish I would have gotten that. We
have a sleeper wine button.
Well, there should be a sleeper wine. You know what? Here's the thing. I got a lot of new things going on in the setup now. TC can tell you about it, but next week I literally can have the slideshow up on an iPad and bring it in. There's a lot of fun stuff.
There's a lot of buttons to be pushed.
There's a lot of buttons over here. I have upgraded and upgraded and upgraded, and we're going to continue to upgrade. I'm telling you right now, this show is going places. We're live on YouTube. I've got lots of compliments on how it looked wonderful up on their big screen.
Yeah.
Watching it on YouTube.
We tried to break it out in the color a little bit in the background.
Because the cool thing is you can have the Facebook Live open, right? So you can add your comments in, and you can be watching on your big screen on YouTube, and all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, like this is on my 60-inch television, and I'm watching virtual vines. So this cab, by the way. Another one that I know you're going to throw in there. 2017 on this cab, drinking amazing.
That's the layup. That's the guys. It's Cabernet. I mean, first of all, it's Cabernet, and the price point. I mean, it's from a legendary winery. But guys, if you're just like, hey, I'm chock full of, guys, I'm chock full of, California cabs, cabs from Argentina. This is definitely a Cabernet that gives you everything that you want in spades. And as Christophe said, doesn't rip the enamel off your teeth, doesn't give you the big oak, the big Slovenian oaks, guys. This is just a beautiful Cabernet.
Beautiful Cabernet.
Really was great.
And as we said, it was almost kind of like, I think Michelle said it is a pit pounder in the sense that you can get down by the fire pit and pound that wine because it's getting a little chilly out there. Today was the last day of summer.
Yes.
Last day of summer. And I'll tell you what, when I woke up this morning, you would have thought it was yesterday or this morning because it was freezing outside when I let the dogs out. But and I'm telling you, we're now getting into those cooler days, cooler nights, where you're going to be around that fire pit, and you're going to want a little bit bigger red. And if you
come up to the significant others,
and you have an anniversary coming up, or you have anything else, you're going to want the Amarone. I'm telling you right now, at $70, I'm going to bring. I got to get the thing.
At $70, TC's going to get a skosh.
He's a skosh more. He's like he always finishes the expensive wine over here.
Boozy and ratchet over here.
Boozy and ratchet. This year we're nobody on our shelves at 73, down to 70 plus your club discounts. So you want to go over to Loaded Grape and pick that up right now because that is an amazing deal price.
Just got the rest of the 2015 stateside. Just got the last few 6-packs left, guys. Danny, they always pick up a few for the shop. But guys, make sure you do not sleep on this. I mean, I know it's $70, but hey, holiday, we're turning the corner. Holidays are coming. If there is one wine that you're just like, hey, you need to splurge on, this is the splurge tonight, guys.
Yeah, it is the splurge wine that you're going to want to grab. So go ahead and grab you some Amarone. It is absolutely delicious, and it is worth it. So if you have an anniversary, you just want to grab some for the holidays, or you just want to put some in the cellar, this is the wine. I'm telling you.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Ooh, man, it was so good. Then I just want to bring up the fact of next week. Next week,
back to back hits.
Back to here's one thing. The first thing is like
it's not the greatest hits. It's like late night. You're watching. You're like, damn, 50 hits, and you end up buying it. I mean, it's just like, wow, these guys have all the hits back to back.
So first, everybody's getting jealous. Everybody's calling TC, going, hey, how do I get into the game of virtual vines? And we now have Victor Ordonez from how would I say this wrong? Jorge Ordonez Selection.
Yep.
So we're going to be talking about Spanish wines next week. And let me just tell you, I have a couple in the shop. So let's take 2 seconds. 2 seconds right now, because I have them right here, TC.
Yes.
That's what I do. That's what I do. So we're going to start off with Bubbles again next week with a lovely cava, right? A Grand Reserva cava. We do this in the shop a lot. This
vintage cava. Method Chef and Wine, guys.
2014 cava. So just if you want to drink along, I do have a couple of these in the shop. So I don't have them online, but when you come and pick up, if you want to add this in there. Again, Jorge
we couldn't have him without Albarino, right?
We couldn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't. Albarino. So that's gonna be that camera light. Okay, there we go. Super bright. So Jorge
Stone fruit, peachy AF, guys. If there was a wine, peachy AF, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, this wine right here. I mean, oh my God, beautiful. Break out some shrimp scampi, a little piccata, some cat capers. Oh my God, that.
So you might want to grab that. They're also Jorge Ordonez Selections was the first to bring Albarino to the United States. So I was trying to get there. That's why we had to do it. And
the Amarone made me do it.
Oh my gosh, we have a couple of these now. I got to make sure I try to do some in order. So from Rioja, a beautiful Carenza, absolutely delicious. So this is the Sierra Cantabria. So very, very delicious. And then we're going to stay in Rioja, and then we're going to do a little bit more of a vintage, a 2015.
San Vicente. This was the first single vineyard Rioja. I mean, literally, we talk about single vineyard Cabernets. I know that's the big talk in Napa, places like that. Guys, this was literally the first. We don't get a lot of this wine, but we had Victor. We said, Victor, what should we do? I gave him a list of stuff.
And he said, I got to grab my favorite. He sent it in an email. I got to send my favorite.
Got to do it.
Got to do it. And then I can tell you right now, we've been doing a lot of this in the shop. And this one is Mo Sierra Salentes.
Super fun.
Monastrell. And I'll tell you right now, if you're not drinking Monastrell out of Spain, you have not started discovering wine yet. But that Monastrell is absolutely delicious. And folks, if you want to drink along with us, grab a bottle of it.
It's a fall porch pounder.
It is a fall porch pounder.
I'm telling you right now. Guys,
and the price point on that is going to be really amazing. And then one that we've had in our wine club in the reserve bottle is the Veilletan. So some of you might go, hey, I got some of this in my. This is the 2016. I think you might have the 2015. I have 12 bottles of the 2015 as well. But I also will be able to get you the 2016 of the Veilletan. And when I tell you right now, if I had a bottle,
oh my God, man,
that I absolutely go, oh, folks, if you're willing to spend a little extra, I got a bottle for you. And this is not going to be as pricey.
In 1900. I mean,
1900,
whatever,
no big deal. folks, this is one where I tell you, it won't be stretching the budget as much as an Amarone.
Yeah.
But it would definitely be. It's going to be.
But it does come in a beautiful wood case and wrapped in pink tissue paper. So hey, you can live fancily a little bit with this wine.
Yes. So those are a couple of those bottles that are in the shop right now. So if you want to pick up a bottle when you come pick up your wines, you can do that as well. If not, we will have all those wines in next week's show.
I've already seen some people know Galena Cava. Already know.
Oh God, they already know. Some of these you already know, and
they're
going to have some good deal pricing as well. So join us as Victor, the heir apparent, Victor Ordonez, is going to be on the show. Young guy.
Don't miss it, guys.
From what I understand, he looks like he's 18, but talks like he's 40.
He
so
is.
we're going to be
old. Guy's an old soul.
Maybe he's 80. Maybe he talks like he's 80.
He's Benjamin Button. I think he's like aging in reverse. I think so. He's really 85, but it looks like he's like 15. So
we're going to wrap up now. So thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, go to Loaded Grape, put your orders in. Everything you order now, today or tomorrow. So today's Monday, September the 21st. So if you have until 3 o'clock, September 23rd, we'll have it in on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. If you order past that, we might need a little bit more delivery time to get it in. But thank you so much for tuning in. Again, next Monday, 7:30. You can watch it on YouTube or Facebook Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. Dan Mackey from Loaded Grape.
Yeah, TC Fraizer trying distributing it, guys. Keep on drinking the good stuff. Be well, be happy, be safe.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Thanks for all the support. You're amazing. Have a wonderful night.
Cheers.